Hello guys, welcome back to game number 2 between Absolute Legends and WinFakt. Of course, if you have just joined us, Absolute Legends won the first game, pretty much down to Veigar single-handedly, although he definitely had help from the likes of Warwick and Vayne as well. So this is a must-win matchup here for WinFakt. Looking good for the Menzi. I mean, we said this in the break, you know, Cogmore is the kind of character that maybe needs an entirely different kind of role just assigned to him, which is I win games late game. He's that kind of character, but the question is, can he get there? And especially when you look at the opposition, you've got Kennen and Maokai in particular, with, of course, Warwick. They can just really zone him out in team fights, you know? Maokai snares onto Cogmore, he can't move. Kennen pops his ultimate, and then if, you know, Cogmore's still somehow alive, infinite duress used from Warwick, Cogmore may not be too much of a feature. So I think Quicksilver Sash is an absolute must for him.
Yeah, and obviously Rise as well comes into the equation as well. He is very, very strong. And I think there's a fight.
There is. Tristana, oh dearie me, that was so unlucky. But well played from Shen. He used his flash, he taunted onto Tristana, Snare came in as well, and Tristana was absolutely toast. So first blood will be going to Nautilus. Assists coming in from everybody else in the team though, so a fair chunk of change. They can see already just how important that kill was. 600 gold it basically gave WinFakt there, and now all of that team is going to go ahead and recall. Kennen trying to just poke with the shurikens. Of course, you do hear contact if it hits, so you realise, okay, no one's in that bush, I'll try the other one. Now he's heard it, so they know exactly what's going on. But Soraka very, very slow here, could be getting taken down. Flash coming in from Rise and Soraka as well. Snare was also landed, but well played to Soraka, getting that exhaust down, so a fair amount of summoner spells have actually been popped already, and it looks like they're going to try and pick up this blue buff. But you do also see Maokai lurking around. He's going to throw the sapling up, manages to get the steal, but will he get punished for that kind of hubris? The answer is a no, as he flashes through the wall. So brilliant work from Maokai there, taking the blue, flashing through the wall, and managing to live the fight for another day. In the meantime, though, Warwick is under heavy attack at that top lane. Is going to be recalling, though. The question is, can Shen get there in time? And Warwick's being forced to flash away. So many summoner spells being used already, NZ. And of course, with the ganking kind of stage, when you have the likes of a Maokai and also a Nautilus, them flashes and exhausts could be absolutely critical.
This is exactly what we said in the break. We said early game we're going to see so much more. You know, Absolute Legends have got a relatively strong early game, but the late game from WinFakt is hella scary. You got Nautilus in there as well with Rise, and then Cogmore. Like we've said, Rise I think hasn't even got Flash now as well, so he has to be careful of obviously Kennen and Maokai. And when you haven't got a Flash down against Maokai, it's bad times if you're pushed.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. You know, Maokai is a scary champion to be against when the flash is down. So Rise doesn't have flash, Shen doesn't have his flash up, Nautilus doesn't have his either. So that's 3 players from WinFakt. And on Absolute Legends, Soraka, Warwick, Maokai himself also don't have flash. So a lot of summoner spells have been used already early on in this game. Just the one killers came out about though. But we do know this about Absolute Legends. Even when their kills down and dragons down, they still somehow manage to be ahead on gold. So their farming capabilities are so strong. You can't really count them out, even if they're kind of like 10 kills behind. Either way, Ken in the meantime has pushed in from mid. Looks like they're desperate to take down this Shen. 3 players now lurking around in the bush. This is going to be a snare coming up from Maokai if he can manage to land it. The question is Shen going to push a tiny bit too far, or is he going to be able to luckily escape with his life? It looks really precarious for him. Here comes the gank from Maokai, but Maokai actually twists and advances onto a minion. He didn't even land it onto Shen. Wow, that was derpy.
I just think it's a bit unlucky, you know, it happens, but in a situation like that, when you've got Kennen also, he's losing farm from mid at that stage. He needs to get that assist, pick it up, and get that kill. You know, it's bad times, you know, just little mistakes like that can really change the game.
Yeah, definitely. He did come back for take 2, but Shen is too tanky to fall there. So Maokai did land the snare, the sapling came up, or the present in this case, and Warwick was also there as well. But unfortunately, Shen too strong. Having said that though, it was a successful gank in the case that Shen had to recall. This is going to buy Warwick some time to try and get ahead on the XP and also the farming front. In the meantime, at bot lane, once again, Absolute Legends very aggressive here. Cogmore is trying his best to pick up some creep score. What is the early farm like at that bot lane? The answer is 29 to Cogmore and 30 to Tristana. Pretty much as even as you could ask for, so not too much happening down there. In mid, Rise is currently finding himself on 20 creep score. Kennen is on 22, but remember that Kennen did go up and gank at top, so that definitely would have held him back slightly in that circumstance. But I think again we're going to have probably about 5 minutes of a farming frenzy, and then once that dragon starts to play a more pivotal role, much more action will ensue.
Yeah, exactly what normally happens, unless, you know, Maokai does decide, look, I want to gank mid, I want to gank bot. Although it's very hard to gank bot. We saw this last game, Slepple with that Tristana, very pushed, kept pushing that bot lane. Kog'Maw is extremely pushed as well. Kog'Maw is on 37 to Tristana's 37 as well, so it's completely even. He's doing a very good job at farming the minions under that tower, but he's very low on mana. Has to be very careful, Tristana, don't you know, nuke him down. But you know, a bit too early for that. But really, I think Kog'Maw's doing a good job, even though he's pushed. We saw this yesterday, though. Kog'Maw was pushed back, and they shut him down early game. Into the late game, he was very useless, but that does not seem the case this game.
Yeah, I mean, the longer the game goes on for, and the more items Kog'Maw gets, the scarier he gets. He's one of those kind of characters that really needs the items to be truly scary. And here comes the terror of Nautilus. He's going to try and pick up the kill onto Soraka, but looks like there's actually kind of uneven focus here. Two players going for Soraka, just Nautilus going on his own for her. So I'm not too sure about that one, NC. Seems like maybe a miscommunication coming out there. Two players going for Tristana who just basically rocket jumped over the wall, and only Nautilus for that Soraka. So, odd to say the least, but I mean, you have to say that that gank was well and truly on the cards. I mean, Tristana and Soraka have been pushing that lane so hard for pretty much the last 5 minutes consecutively, so it was only a matter of time before Nautilus made a move.
Yeah, I can kind of see why they're pushing the lane, though. Obviously, Tristana has kind of got two escapes, can just do the jump, and obviously the flash as well. I think she took flash. Did she take flash? Yeah, I think she did. And I think Nautilus was actually in the right in that position. You know, he was focusing the support of Soraka. Knew, okay, look, if we focus Tristana, she's just going to jump over the wall. Let's go over this. But Fire Main and Akamez did decide to try and focus that Tristana. She just jumped over the wall, and then by the time that happened, Soraka already popped the exhaust on Nautilus and was already away.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe as time goes on, they're going to try and rectify that previous mistake. Nautilus has came in to fill that bot lane just while the two players go ahead and recall. Kog'Maw's already on his way back. Nunu has just recalled as well. So what has Kog'Maw picked up? Well, the answer is 3 Doran's Blades and a Boots of Speed as well. And if you compare that to the likes of Tristana, who hasn't been back just yet, who do just that right now, what's she going to pick up? It's probably going to be quite similar. There's 1 Doran's Blade, there's 2. Is she going to pick up the 3rd as well? Answer is a no, opting for the Berserker's Greaves instead, which makes sense because, you know, Tristana's 3rd ability, the explosive shot, every time she kills an enemy, she actually explodes them for 140 magic damage in a kind of splash area. So obviously it's really important for Tristana to have that boom going down so she can get as many creeps score as she possibly can. At top lane, we might have an ultimate being popped off onto the Shen. Shen's just going to taunt right through Warwick. Again, Shen just showing how tanky he is, and he is really holding his own there, even though he is 2 levels behind and has been under quite heavy scrutiny at that top lane with ganks coming in from Kennen and Maokai.
Yeah, I think Shen's doing a great job. You know, Shen's a great champion because even if a gank does come in, he can just try and dash away, and he's got flash on top of that as well. So great escaping capabilities as well. We haven't seen a gank on towards Kennen yet. There was an attempt. I think Maokai is going to come around. No, he is just going to back off. But exactly what I said, you know, if Kennen goes into that lightning rush, then, you know, Ryze and Nautilus cannot do anything about it.
Yeah, bot lane once again, the 2 AD carries going to stand toe to toe, but let's switch back to top lane instead. There's Warwick and Shen really duking out. Here comes the snare though from Maokai. Great work once again from the jungler from Absolute Legends, but here comes Nautilus and Ryze as well. Deary me, I think he's going to go down very quickly. Ryze picks it up with the overload right at the end. So great reactions as well, has to be said from WinFakt. They realised what was going on, pushed up instantly, and have still reassumed that 1 kill lead. But again, very similar on the gold front. Only 600 gold in it. Now got 500 gold. So again, showing that, you know, Absolute Legends are really good at farming. They're a kill behind, but they're actually gold ahead. So it really goes to show you how strong at farming they are.
Yeah, indeed. At that top lane, I was like, you know, that bait. Because, you know, Warwick did He tried to make the illusion of maybe tower diving, and Shen was like, "Oh, I can get myself a kill here. I'm gonna try and do as much damage as possible before he kills me." And then here comes Maokai around the back with the snare. A beautiful recovery play with Nautilus and Rise coming around the back as well. And Rise is one of them champions where you just don't want to give kills. He's very item dependent. If you don't get them items, he's not going to be any use at all except for that prism. But later on, after that kill, he's going to be dealing some big damage out.
Yeah, and he already has Fear of the Goddess. He's going back towards Spawn, probably going to focus on something like a Catalyst of the Protector. Indeed, he's going for the Ruby Crystal and also the Sapphire Crystal as well. So pretty much going to go for that Catalyst as you'd expect a Rise to go for. More than likely going to be picking up the Banshee's Veil, the Frozen Heart, etc, etc, and maybe even a Rod of Ages if he has enough gold and if the game goes on long enough. But as he said, NT, he's very much mana dependent and item dependent in that case, that it does stack nicely with his first and second abilities, obviously Rune Prison and Overload. So the longer he gets to farm, the scarier he's going to get. Very similar in that respect actually to Cogmore. So you'd have to say that WinFakt mid to late game probably looking maybe even a tiny bit stronger if they do get those Quicksilver Sashes. Again, Warwick is going to pop that ultimate, but Shen just chilling out, just going to be tanking that one up all day long. Now going to recall once again, as he's probably a tiny bit cautious of the fact that Maokai could potentially be lurking, and he's falling further behind on XP actually. His Warwick is now level 8, Shen on level 7. Warwick's going to get so much more creep score right now. How's it looking? He's on 81, Shen on 43 actually. So that's quite worrying for Shen.
Yeah, the tower is already down, I do believe, so he can just keep pressuring that, unless I'm completely blind. I'm not completely sure. I have this really weird bug on stream where I kind of get a kind of 3D. It is up, yeah, it's just my stream absolutely messing up. I do apologise for that one. But Warwick doing a great job up top, you know, keeping harassing Shen, popping his ultimate now and again, just, you know, making him go backing back. He's just freezing the lane right next to his tower. So he's
I'm not sure.
Sorry?
I'm not sure if that's you or me, but you're lagging out heavily.
Okay, one sec.
Right, I think it was you, because you seem alright now. But yeah, as you were saying, he's freezing the lane really nice. He's basically just standing there, getting all the last hits. Shen, I think, maybe deciding, maybe I need to go for this dragon and force some team fights to catch back up. Here's Kennan's ultimate, though, onto Maokai's as well. Huge damage coming out. Nautilus has been dropped. Surely Rise is going to be following suit as well. Indeed, he will be. That's going to be 2 for 0 on that team fight. And that's pretty much going to assure the free dragon coming out from Absolute Legends as well. There's 4 players will be pushing down everybody minus that Warwick, who's still at top lane, just farming away to his heart's content. And you have to say that Absolute Legends looking very strong once again. Question is, can Cogmore perhaps steal this one with a cheeky ultimate? The answer is probably not, as that dragon is going down ever so quickly. Cogmore not even going to bother, just going to pull back instead, go back to his lane and try and pick up some creep score. So looking quite precarious right now. And in the meantime, with all that being said, NZ, Warwick has just continued to farm. 110 creep score right now, Shen on 51.
See, the worrying thing is that Warwick wasn't even bot lane when that fight kicked off, so it was basically a 5v4 and they still came out on top with 2 kills. And, you know, on top of that, what I was saying when I was lagging, WinFakt, you know, if they don't get them Quicksilvers out, despite having such a great late game, they can get shut down so easy by the Warwick ultimate and Maokai, you know, so they really need them Quicksilvers, otherwise they could be buying the dust very shortly in them team fights.
Yeah, and some interesting questions in chat, guys. We do actually look at this quite often. You're asking, is, you know, Warwick's ultimate really used for kind of a kill, or is it more a suppression and a stun? To be honest, in this lane against Shen, more of a suppression or stun. Maybe just to try and harass him out of his lane. I think that's kind of Warwick's mentality right now, is that, look, I want to get farmed up, I want to get really good items, so that mid to late game, I'm going to be able to stand toe-to-toe with the likes of a Cogmore. I think that's pretty much Warwick's mentality right now. He's 3 levels above Shen, but remember that Shen is a very, very tanky champion. He has the Heart of Gold. He's also picked up 2 null magic mantles, and that's purely tried to, you know, counteract that hungering strike that Warwick throws out. So nice play from both the characters, but yeah, hopefully that answers some of the questions that you've been asking. Either way, Warwick has already picked up the Wit's End. How much gold does he have in his back pocket? The answer is nearly 1,600. He's going to go for the ultimate once again. I think that's pretty much aimed towards the fact that Maokai's moved his way slowly but surely towards top lane. Maokai is going to have to be so careful because Nautilus is waiting just on the opposite side of the wall, and you can also see Rise is lurking around as well. So this is a pro bait actually coming out from Shen. The question is he going to get punished for this mistake? Looks unlikely. Maokai is going to try and stare back on towards that Shen, but he's going to get dropped. Maokai, however, did get the kill onto Shen though, so 1-4 in exchange, but I love that bait from Shen. He knew exactly what he was doing, didn't mind putting himself in harm's way, was trying to get the double kill. Unfortunately though, Warwick did manage to survive only just. At bot lane, I'm going to see some more harassment coming out from Kog'Maw onto Soraka, but I think that's by and large going to be halted. Having said that though, Nunu has landed a nice Ice Blast on towards Tristana, forcing the rocket jump as Kog'Maw was right behind her, pursuing her, breathing down her neck. So there you go, 4-3 at the moment, but gold slightly in favour of Absolute Legends.
Yeah, obviously we have said this so many times, such good farming from Absolute Legends right now, and Kog'Maw is already doing so much damage. Soraka has had to flash away, and could die here.
Yeah, absolutely, that's what's going to happen. Kog'Maw did pick up the kill, and just getting caught out slightly there from Shen and Nunu. So unfortunate for her, but they have pulled it back here, WinFakt. And, you know, Kog'Maw, all credit due to him, he is looking pretty strong right now. 124 creep score, has the BF sword, 3 Doran's rings, and boots of speed. Comparing that to Tristana, Tristana is holding her own though, has 123 creep score with BF sword and vampiric scepter, looking like she could be building towards that infinity edge, and she's also got the cloak of agility. Here comes Maokai though, the tower aggro is firing onto that Nunu, so Maokai is going to snare and also arcane smash Nunu back into the air, but not enough to take him down. More pressure, more just trying to save that tower than anything else coming out from Maokai. In the meantime though, Warwick once again just proving the terror of the solo top, consistently pushing down. Shen is falling further and further behind. Warwick 142 creep score, Shen on 66. He has picked up the recurve bow and a null magic mantle, as I said before, so more than likely going to be building a Wit's End himself. And now Warwick is going to go back and buy up. He has 2,640 gold. The question is, what is he going to go ahead and buy? Well, let's have a quick look. Warwick is going to go ahead and sell those wards that he had and the health pots. He's going to go straight out and build up the Glacial Shroud and 2 cloth armors. He is going to be so tanky right now. A bot lane though is going to be a huge team fight kicking off. Kennan's going to open up onto Kog'Maw, takes Kog'Maw down very, very quickly. Nunu also coming under the cosh, but not going to actually fall. They're not going to apply too much more pressure as they do still have this tier 1 tower standing up. Going to pull back, take that one down. Dragon should be due up fairly shortly. I'd expect Absolute Legends to kind of just patrol around this area until Dragon's up and then just to go ahead and take it. Or they could perhaps actually pick themselves up a couple more kills in the process. Going to steal this red as well. Not too much that Ryze and Nautilus can do. Perhaps they're going to try and steal this one with a smite. The question is Nautilus smite up? Answer is, doesn't really matter as it has already been taken down. Nautilus did manage to pick it up, but for a second there I thought we were going to see another team fight kicking off as the 4 strong Absolute Legends players against just the 2, which definitely came out on top. They've now got all 5 players. You're going to see Warwick using infinite duress, rising to get shut down surely. In fact, the flash has been used, but there is Maokai once again with the snare. Warwick finishing it off. Now Nautilus is going to try and push back in, uses that dredge line onto Soraka, Riptide as well, but Soraka being able to pull back without any issues whatsoever. So Absolute Legends looking so strong. They've picked up the kill onto Ryze. Ryze is one of the serious threats right now on the WinFakt team, and we could be seeing an 18-minute Baron coming out here, Enzy, as Warwick is going to take point. And why not? They have the Ryze down for another 12 seconds. It's a 5v4 situation. They should be looking on top right now, especially when Warwick is as tanky as he is. Here comes WinFakt though, Kog'Maw leading the charge. Need to be careful because Warwick is just going to push right into the enemy. He's going to go right into the fray. Riptide used once again, trying to slow down that Warwick, trying his best to just alleviate any pressure. And Kog'Maw is just going to fire away with those fireworks. Nautilus pulling himself back into contention. Not entirely sure about that decision, Nautilus. I'm not entirely sure if he meant to even do that, but very nearly got himself killed. And now we can WinFakt have to pull back. That could prove to be so critical. Ryze, however, has managed to respawn and push back to mid, so perhaps that Baron isn't going to happen just yet.
That's exactly what we said though, you know, the likes of Warwick and Maokai can shut down the AD and AP carries so easy. Kog'Maw dropped like a fly early on, Ryze did as well, so they're just literally nuking them carries down as quickly as possible, and I think they did actually go back to Baron. They may be setting up a trap here around that Baron buff.
Well, they did set up a trap, but I think it may have backfired on them as Soraka has been oozed by Kog'Maw, and Shen finishes it off there, so Soraka completely giving away her life, and now the tables have turned. The Baron is open for WinFakt. With that Kog'Maw with BF Sword and Pickaxe, he's going to be dishing out all kinds of damage, but they need to be careful because Warwick is coming down, as is Maokai from the bottom, and Kennen alongside Tristana pushing it as well, but Kennen has found himself in the fray and gonna have to pop off that ultimate. Tristana did go down previously. Kennen's surely gonna fall as well. Maokai's ultimate has came in. This could be a cataclysmic failure coming in here from Absolute Legends. Warwick is still just battling away though against 3 players by himself. And Maokai's like, screw this, you're on your own, dude. And of course, Warwick will eventually fall, but that was just Tristana getting caught out completely. Soraka previously, though. So you have to say, Absolute Legends completely threw that team fight for absolutely no reason. They had no reason to die in that position, NZ. So confusing.
Yeah, they had the upper hand, and, you know, 2 of them got caught out. That opened the Baron opportunity up. They forced the fight, boom. And, you know, Kog'Maw now rocking that 3-2 scoreline, and even after 3 kills, Kog'Maw 20 minutes in is going to be so scary. We all know Kog'Maw for his late game, and that's exactly where we're heading. We're going to Domination Station, and Kog'Maw's checking in right now.
Yeah, Infinity Edge up 20 minutes. Scary stuff from Cog. He's 3-2-3, and how many times you said this, Enzi? The longer this game goes on, Kog'Maw is just going to get scarier and scarier, as will Rise. Rise, kind of in the shadows, has been building up his items slowly but surely, has finished off the Banshee's Veil and Tear of the Goddess as well, but I really can't stress how important that Quicksilver Sash is going to be for this Kog'Maw going into this game, because, you know, Kennen's up there, Warwick, you've got the stun as well from, obviously, sorry, not Warwick, you've got the stun coming in from Warwick, and Maokai's snare, sorry, what I was trying to say, if I can get my words out properly. But as I'm talking it, actually, it looks like they're going to trade Dragon for Baron here. WinFakt going to be picking up Baron, surely. Just Kennen can probably hold them off. It's on such low health. Can Kennen manage to pick this one up? The answer is a no. So somehow, some way, WinFakt have picked up that Baron, managing to catch Absolute Legends off guard. The Absolute Legends thinking, okay, we've got free Dragon here, boys. Go and take it. Now they've just realised that Baron is down. They're going to be feeling pretty hard done by. Probably pull back now and turtle in and play defensive. But the question is, Enzi, how many towers, how much farm could WinFakt win now from this Baron? How much are they going to push this one home?
Well, the first thing you do, you know, as Baron is try and control every single lane, push as much as you can every single lane, and then go for that last push before the Baron buff does run out. I have a feeling though, even with Baron buff, I still think Absolute Legends can fend them off as long as they can shut down that Kog'Maw, as long as they can shut down that Rise very quickly. But as this game goes on, like I said, Rise is going to be tankier and tankier and tankier, dealing more damage by the second, and they can't really do anything about it. You know, you do have that Warwick, you do have that Maokai to try and do that. They have to win the next fight, they have to shut them down, otherwise it will be a GG, and WinFakt will be taking it to a third now.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. But yeah, it's really just going to come down to how WinFakt play with this Baron. They can make leaps and strides here if they so choose. They are currently actually behind on towers fairly heavily by 3, and they could definitely even that one up if they so choose and so desire. But we are just going to have to find out. Looking like they're going to group up in mid as 3 of their players, Nunu, Rise and Nautilus, all hanging around. Kog'Maw is coming now from the backside. Just picked up himself some raids, so he's just going to continually try and get farm as and when he can. Shen trying to play catch up now. You know, all that great work that Warwick did early on, and to be fair, Warwick is still just ploughing ahead on creep score. He's 179 to Shen's 115 respectively at top lane, those 2 characters were. But Shen is starting to slowly but surely pull his way back now. He has the Heart of Gold for the gold per 10, he has the Wit's End, he has the Phage and the Mercury Treads with a couple wards and a couple health pots, so he is definitely making strides back. But you have to say, Warwick is looking scary. He has the Frozen Heart, the Wit's End and a Cloth Armor with Mercury Treads. He's going to be very tanky, but you know, with this Baron buff and Kog'Maw just eats through armor, so that Frozen Heart's all well and good, but Kog'Maw can still take you down relatively fast as Nautilus has once again managed to catch Tristana out. Kennen coming straight back with a retaliation with his ultimate, but I don't think it's going to do a great amount of deal damage, as Nunu's going to pop Absolute Zero as well. Kennen has managed to get the kill somehow onto that Nautilus, now going to get the second onto Shen as well, so perhaps Absolute Legends are going to come back very strongly. This team fight looks to be the case. Rise on very low health, You're going to have Kennen and Tristana in hot pursuit. Huge team fight coming up there from Absolute Legends. I wasn't entirely sure if that was the right time to just kind of pull themselves back into it, but definitely proves to be so. Kennen's ultimate standing so much. Maokai popping his ulti down as well. I said this in Champ Select. The two characters together are absolutely ridiculous. So for the third time in this matchup, NZ, we've had a complete role reversal. A huge twist of events that we thought, you know, WinFakt with Baron going to be pushing, going to be really pressuring hard. Then, you know, Absolute Legends are like, well, actually, no, we can completely destroy you with or without Baron.
That wasn't a good engage, you know, just like you said. I mean, it kind of looked like WinFakt weren't ready, you know. He kind of dredge-lined in, and he must have said at that point, go in right now. And then Kog'Maw was like, oh, okay, now I'll go. And, you know, they were a bit late in, and that cost them a lot. I mean, Kennen's damage at the moment, that's exactly the one champion we forgot to mention. Rather, you know, Kennen's damage with that ultimate, the AoE damage, just the pure damage from Kennen is absolutely incredible, and that's exactly what he's doing. I think it was a triple kill or a double kill. The amount of damage Kennen's doing right now, I don't know how you're going to shut him down.
Yeah, Kennen got the double, and I said when I was commentating actually, I was like, I'm not sure if Kennen is doing enough damage, but the answer was well and truly right before your eyes. They absolutely beasted that team fight. Kennen was doing massive damage. He has the Abyssal Scepter, the Will of the Ancients, and a Giant Spell. So obviously Abyssal Scepter reduces magic resist of nearby enemy champions by 20. Coupled with the Will of the Ancients and his ultimate, he's going to be doing some serious damage. Especially when Maokai put down his Vengeful Maelstrom as well. It was just nasty times there. That team fight was completely one-sided. You have to say with Baron up as well, it was absolute whitewash. Currently 5-0 ahead on towers. About 7k gold advantage as well coming into Absolute Legends with the 2-kill advantage. And they are definitely looking like they could be taking this one quite comfortably. They are waiting for Dragon as well. You can see the sapling coming out there from Maokai. So obviously they have this time down to the T, just waiting for it to respawn. Then we'll be picking this one up fairly comfortably, you'd have to imagine. But yeah, it is looking quite precarious now for WinFakt. It just goes to show once again, Enzi, how quickly League of Legends can turn around.
Yeah, can change around with an instance, and this is definitely going to favour Absolute Legends. I mean, they have the super minions in mid right now. They can push the other lanes, top, bottom, whatever they want to do. They have complete map control right now because they have to stay back for the WinFakt have to stay back for the super minions. But I think Ryza Nunu is actually coming around, could catch somebody out.
Yeah, they will be coming around there, and you know, you're going to have Maokai actually pulling back. Not entirely sure if he was starting to feel the heat there, because obviously they can have vision on both Nautilus, Kog'Maw, and Nunu as well, because obviously they have the creeps down there. But the Dragon is going to be respawning. I said this a couple times, I'm not sure what's going on. I think the timer from Absolute Legends was perhaps slightly off, because Maokai has basically been standing there for like the last 3 or 4 minutes just throwing saplings. Warwick is spamming the laugh. Let's switch away from that, because I mean they're actually giving Shen free roam at top and free farm, so I'm not too sure about that decision. Dragon has finally respawned. They're going to be taking this down with complete ease. Shen could probably conceivably actually just go ahead and take this top tower, even though it's on very high HP. But do you think, Enzi, that WinFakt can actually manage to stave off this attack? I mean, their mid-hit inhibit is down. They're by and large way behind now on the creep farm as well, and the ward coverage is looking fairly even, but it's all situated in their jungle. There is no ward coverage whatsoever going right now in Absolute Legends jungle, sorry. So on that basis alone, you have to say Absolute Legends pretty much have control of the map.
They just need the right engage. That's the key to this. If they get the right engage, they will rape face. Due to the fact, you know, the damage from Kog'Maw. If WinFakt aren't ready for a team fight, you know, they're not going to be doing as much as they can if they're ready and they're prepared to go into a fight. As you saw last fight, they weren't really prepared, and it didn't pay off to their advantage. You know, Absolute Legends were able to pick that one up. WinFakt even had Baron at that time, so Absolute Legends looking very strong. They want to end this game as quick as possible. You can see that now. They're pushing bot lane while Super Minions do the job in mid.
Absolutely, Warwick is actually just going to kind of pince around and really try and harass. He's more, not necessarily going to be attacking anybody, but just psychologically reminding them, I'm on the side, guys, and as soon as our Maokai sees fit, Maokai and Kennen are going to ultimate you, and I'm going to just absolutely tear you to pieces. But actually they're going to pull back. Once again, as he said before, map control is well and truly theirs. They're just going to go back into WinFakt's jungle, pick up the red buff, pick up the Wraith, probably pick up the golems as well, and it's just way too easy. And this is why people say League of Legends is a snowballing-esque kind of game, because once you have control over the jungles, it's very easy just keep yourself well and truly ahead. It's going to be very difficult here for WinFakt to actually pull themselves back into this game. Going to have to be a huge throw in a team fight from Absolute Legends.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the time where Cogmore and Raj really need to step up now and, you know, do the serious damage that they know they are known to do. And if Tristanos and Kevil could get caught out, they are going towards the top lane. Baron, I think, has just spawned, so that is going to be very, very major. And I don't think WinFakt could even contest it because the super minions are in mid.
Yeah, the Super Minis are pushing down mid. They have no ward coverage whatsoever from Baron. If you have a quick look at WinFakt's ward coverage, they can basically just see their own base. That's pretty much it. So they have no idea what's going on right now from Absolute Legends. Absolute Legends are already just nuking down this Baron like it wasn't even there. And now you're going to start to see WinFakt pushing up Strides wherever he has been used. Perhaps we are going to see another team fight. But again, look at Warwick. He's just going to be looking around the back. Beautiful positioning from him. Harassing enough to allow Kennen to jump in there with Maokai. This is going to be the GG surely coming in here. Maokai and Kennen absolutely decimating. Tristana's actually going to pick up the double kill. Can she get the triple? Nice flash coming in actually there from Shed. But he's going to go down as well. So triple kill coming up from Tristana. Can she now go ahead and get the quadra onto Nautilus, who he's going to flash through that wall? And I think Tristana is going to realise, do I really need to tower dive these two? Well, the answer is she's going to go for it. In fact, she's going to pick up the 4th kill. I think she probably would have even got the delayed penta, and the surrender has came in, so that is going to be the good game overall. Absolute Legends taking it 2-0 in the Corsair Vengeance Cup, NZ. Awesome matches to cast once again.
Absolutely. I mean, the last 2 days we've had non-stop action. Moscow 5 against TRI, and then we did have, I think it was Navi versus NYM, and then SK against XHCL last night, which was absolutely amazing as well. And now tonight, you know, the games were actually relatively close. It was just that one mistake that just made the whole difference. Absolute Legends with the 2-map advantage. They will advance through. WinFakt are sadly out of the tournament, but I'm sure they will keep strong later on in different tournaments.
Yeah, and I mean, as you said, that was...
Oh, I'm stupid.
Bass just said